Um, art is art is something that is mysterious. I have no idea where it comes from, but I've always been so moved by how it's expressed. And I'm a photographer. I capture things that exist, but for me, drawing and painting is a total more elevated art form. They have to start from a blank canvas, and then they have to fill it, and then they have to live, and they have to face themselves, right? The pen is a reflection of what's inside of you. Stephen's work, I noticed his work a long time ago, and Tristan and I didn't know that Tristan also had noticed his work. And when we were looking for someone to capture the art of our program, both of us actually thought of Stephen in our own ways, and we're super privileged to connect. Tristan connected with Annette, and from then the relationship evolved, and we were really privileged to have Stephen be part of this voyage in ways that we never anticipated at the beginning. You all have a piece of it on your bottles. Please cherish it. But I think to have your work and to have you express and show the audience your true talent. I think it was a real honor. So please welcome Annette Wiltshire and Stephen Wiltshire for a little Q&A.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Um, well, first of all, let me just start in saying that it's been such a pleasure being here with you all. And I hope I'll be able to give you an insight, or at least a small insight of Stephen's journey and, how he's got here to this present day. It's just so nice to be here and share our experience with you and tell you our story. Um, well, we both come from parents from the West Indies. My father was from, oh, sorry, our father was from Barbados, and our mother is from St. Lucia. And at the age of 3, our father realized that there was something not quite right with the way he was, not bonding with dad in the way that I was. My mother, on the other hand, thought, oh, you're just fussing, maybe he's just slow to respond and give him time, he will respond and bond better with my dad. Unfortunately, there was a freak accident, and our father passed away when I was 4 years of age, and Stephen, you was 2 years of age. So my mother had the hard task of bringing us up in a world where, after being diagnosed at 3 with autism, she had to learn, well, we all had to learn how to deal with your condition, because autism wasn't even heard of, in the 70s. And there certainly wasn't any books or schools or anything to give us some kind of guide, or at least a way to know how to deal with this situation. I mean, what do you do with that? But Stephen, being Stephen, he was unable to communicate until the age of 5. So before that, Stephen started communicating by drawing. And what were the first things, Steve, that you started drawing when you was around 3, 4 years old? What did you start drawing? Do you remember?
I started at about 3 years old. So I used to draw the animals, tigers, lions, and giraffes, and elephants, cats, and dogs. And I started London double-decker buses and taxis and some people. And then drawn some vehicles and airplanes and trains.
And can I ask you, how did you feel? Because you wasn't able to talk. I mean, it was very hard for you, wasn't it? It was frustrating.
Yeah.
So what did you feel inside? Did you feel sad because you couldn't tell us your needs and you couldn't tell us what you wanted? How did you feel? What was going on in your brain?
I was feel okay. I
Well, you
wouldn't.
were very young
I
then.
was I was young, and when I was at school, I was a little. When I was a child, and I used with crayons and and now I can have a piece of paper, and
Yes.
then I started drawing.
Well, what year was that when you started going to Queen's Mill School?
1979. I was 5 years old.
Okay. I always have to ask Stephen about dates and things because I'm terrible. My memory is nothing compared to his. So in 1979, thank you, Stephen. Stephen went to a special needs school. And this school was this school was awesome. I mean, this school saw Stephen's talent, believed in him, and nurtured, saw something in Stephen that helped his career up to now. And it was a small class of, say, about, I think it was 8 to 10 people in your class. And you used to go on little school journeys on the bus and look at iconic buildings around London, Buckingham Palace, and
St Paul's Cathedral,
yes.
Tower Bridge, Big Ben, Houses of Parliament.
And what's the most famous one that got you on the start of your career was St. Pancras?
St Pancras Station.
Yes.
So I was about 12 years old.
That's right. And so what happened was they all came back from their journey and they all went to their classrooms and they decided to draw what they saw for the day. And Stephen did this mirror image of St. Pancras Station, which was just so phenomenal because the perspective and the detail was just, I mean, it was awesome. And they started to put your drawings in competitions, which you won every single year. I think it was called the Cadbury's Children Competition back in the day.
Cadbury's exhibition.
Yes. So the local paper got very suspicious because for a 12-year-old, you were producing drawings that probably were equivalent to maybe a 25 to 30-year-old. So they checked it out. And lo and behold, they realized that, you know, they had this young autistic individual that could produce such beautiful drawings. And this is when we were approached by a literary agent called Johnson & Johnson. And it was Margaret Hewson and Andrew Hewson. And one of their clients was Sir Hugh Casson, who was the director of, I've forgotten, the Academy Arts in Piccadilly. And he was so in awe of your work that he bullied them and said that you need to look after this artist because he's probably the best child artist in Britain that he's ever seen. So they decided, okay, we'll take on Stephen. And this is where your journey began. And you started to tour all over America. And what was the first place you went to?
New York.
New York City. And that was your childhood dream, wasn't it?
Yes, and my favorite Empire State Building, and I've been there a couple of times.
Yes. And the other places you went to were Washington,
D.C., Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas, and Arizona.
Yeah. I was a lot younger, so I was still in school, so I wasn't able to go on this journey with you. So I was a little bit upset, but, you know, later on, I got the chance to go on these journeys with you. And I have to say that we've become a big team. We've bonded as brother and sister. And it's been a real learning curve traveling with you, understanding your condition, because there are different levels. And we have to accept that not everybody has, you know, the phenomenal talent that you have. We've been very blessed to see you accomplish, see you thrive, see you take in and absorb everything around you and capture and reproduce your idea of what you see through your eyes. And it's very humbling, and it's a very beautiful thing because you have a real good magic of bringing people together and them being able to relate to your work. And it just motivates other people. So do you want to tell them which is the best place in the world that you've ever been to?
I've been to Paris.
But which is your best? Out of all the countries you've been to, which is the best place you've ever been to that you really love and you'd go back time and time again?
New York.
New York, okay.
New York is my favorite because there are lots of skyscrapers, yellow taxi cabs, and American
So
people.
you like the chaos and
Chaos,
the tall modern buildings and the noise and
noise.
yeah. But Antarctica is a very different vibe, right?
Yeah, because they got some penguins and the mountains and icebergs.
And how do you feel about Antarctica? What did you feel when you first came here?
It was amazing. They got we went on a cruise ship boat and see the view, and then see the mountains, icebergs, and some few penguins, and it's a good adventure.
Yeah.
So it's so fun.
Well, I have to say, both Stephen and I, we are afraid of water. And so this was a real challenge for us because getting on the Zodiac, I was absolutely petrified, and even more petrified for Stephen because none of us can swim. And yes, I know we've got the life jackets and everything, but when I was younger, I almost drowned when we were in the Caribbean Sea in St. Lucia. So my phobia was, and still is, being immersed underwater. So a few days back, when there was that challenge of the plunge, I thought, hell no, that's not going to happen. But I commend all of you, those who decided to do it. That was phenomenal and so inspiring. And for me, it's a challenge that I do want to do. Small steps, but I'll get there. But going back to that, I was so surprised. I mean, you surprise me all the time. I mean, you're my brother. There are 2 years apart. But there's, a week doesn't go by where you do something that you just surprise me. And this trip to Antarctica was a real surprise for me because you took on the challenge and you just went for it. And when we went on the Zodiac, you got on the boat and you showed no fear. This is what I learned from you. You show no fear. And you take on board what comes to you. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. You brush yourself off and you keep going. And, I'm quite an emotional person. And I take on board what things happen, what type of things happen. And it gets to me. And I've learned from you, just let it go. Enjoy what comes to you. Whatever challenges there are, just embrace it. The mistakes that we make throughout our life, those are our learning curves. Those are the things that make us feel stronger. And our mother, she's always said to us that, your brother is always going to be looked at differently. And this is something that we are going to have to learn as a family to support each other. And sorry. It's been a long journey. And I just want you to know that I love you very much. You've taught me so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're actually very funny. And we create great memories together. And I wish our father was here to see what you've accomplished. You've broke down so many hurdles. And throughout the years, we've had people tell us that, you will amount to nothing. You'll not be able to walk the streets on your own without having somebody watch you. They've even suggested that you go into a home. I mean, all the things which was a complete no-no for our mother. My mother was and still is a very strong, independent woman. And she's brought us up to be the same way. And when people close doors in front of you, you know, it's a huge knockback. And we've had many doors closed in front of us, haven't we, Steve?
Yeah.
But you're great at opening them. You just kick them down and you prove them wrong. And this is what I love about you. And this is where I get my strength from you. You are my inspiration. You are my entity. You are my world. And I know I don't thank you enough. So I'm being brave and saying it in front of an audience to tell you that you are my idol.
Yeah.
And I want to continue having more journeys with you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm so nervous because one, I'm trying to get through this motion sickness. And two, I'm trying to, you know, this is very organic for me. So I'm just going with the flow. So bear with me, people. I'm sorry. But yeah, you know, our story's not that special. We're an ordinary, you know, brother and sister, and we've gone through difficulties and negativities, but you just gotta go, you know, be strong and get through it. We've had very good people who have stood by us, supported us, put us in the right direction. And, you know, your energy is so laid back and so easy. So it's accommodating to work with you. People love to be around you. You have a great energy. You have a beautiful smile when you turn around and you wave to the crowd. You love it when people see your work because they can relate to your work. It resonates to, you know, maybe their marriage or their first home that they've built or the first school that they've gone to. Stephen has accomplished so much that he even has a school under his name. And that's Queen's Mill School.
Yeah.
And when did you open Queen's Mill School?
Stephen Wiltshire
The Stephen Wiltshire Center.
in 2018.
So this school was the first school that you went to when you was a
Yes.
young boy.
Yeah.
And this is the same school that helped nurture your talent. And so it was very fitting that when they refurbished, they named it after you. Stephen has also been awarded the MBE award from the Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, not the Queen. It's now King Charles.
King
Well, it
Charles
was Prince
III.
Charles at the
Prince
time, but he's now
Charles.
King Charles, yes. And that was in 2006.
2006, that's right.
And that was for services to art.
Yes.
So this is, you know, again, something that we never thought you would achieve, but you have. So you're just breaking walls down, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Is there anything you would like to say to the audience?
Hello, everyone. My name is Stephen Wiltshire. I'm an artist. So I draw buildings, skyscrapers, and little street scenes and landscapes. And I draw some American classic cars. And I always do some sketching on my sketchbooks. sketch anything like people, cars, and some buildings and cities and cityscapes. So I do some sketching from the site when I was going out, and then do it from memory, and sometimes in the book or pictures that we see.
So tell me, when you do a panorama, for instance, like a
Yes.
5 meter panorama, tell me what the process is. How do you, I mean, so, okay, so you go in a helicopter
Yeah.
or top deck of tallest building to get a real good, nice view, bird's eye view. What happens at that moment? What's going on in your head when you see the view?
So I was thinking of going to memorize it, and I get it from the head, from the helicopter, and the scene,
Yeah.
and then do some detailing, counting some windows and then the stories and the view, and to get some of the information to how it looks like. So then memorize it and know how it looks, and then and then think for 20 minutes or 10 or 20 minutes,
So
and
do
go
you
through or go away from the memory.
do you ever get nervous because you can't remember?
So
Do you like sometimes when you draw
yes,
and you memorize, do you memorize everything or do you sometimes forget?
I memorize everything.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even remember what happened yesterday. So that's a really good thing to have. When you're drawing, so you have a mental sketch in
Yes.
your head,
Yeah.
and then you just start.
Yeah.
Do you ever make mistakes?
No, not at all.
Oh, come on, not even one mistake.
Just a bit of mistake sometimes.
But you're able to
I
go over it
go
and
over
nobody
it
knows
again.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we once we were in Singapore, and Stephen turned to me and he said, because my middle name is Daedry, and he said, Daedry. And I said, yeah, what's up? He said, I think I made a mistake here. And I said, so what's supposed to be in this? He said, oh, just some greenery and some grass. I said, it's fine, just do some foliage and all good, and don't worry about it. And then is it the prime minister at the time that came over and he did the drawing on the Singapore panorama?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is the first and only person that actually was allowed to draw on your panorama. Do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yes.
And he was so nervous, wasn't he?
Yeah.
His hand was actually shaking. And you said to him, it's okay, Prime Minister, just take it easy, just relax. It's cool, man. You remember?
Yeah.
And then he did it in pencil because he was that afraid that he didn't want to ruin your drawing. And then you went over it in pen.
Yes.
That was an awesome moment.
Moment.
Yeah. And the crowd, I mean, we had about 150,000 people turn up in less than 3 days. I mean, this is the impact that Stephen has on people. You know, they never heard about him before. They just heard of his story. They came, and the hospitality was just outstanding. I mean, it was amazing. And wherever we go, we always get, you know, this response. So it empowers me because you just have this aura, this energy to bring people together and unite. And you know, your drawings are a language that everybody can understand, regardless of which country we are in. And that's a very powerful thing. And not everybody has that. I don't have it. But I am very blessed and very honored to stand by you and watch it. And that memory, although I don't have the same memory as you, but I do have the memory of being able to see you perform and produce, you know, these works that inspire and motivate other wannabe artists who want to take the same step and be a great artist like you. And, you know, the message is that we can be whatever we want to be. We just got to work hard at it. And sometimes obstacles come your way, and sometimes it kicks you down so hard you don't want to get up. But there's something so strong inside of you that you feel you've got to prove them wrong, not just them, but yourself. And this is what you did. You proved to everybody, despite what everybody said about you, you proved them wrong. And I think that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty powerful thing to have. So I commend you on that. I adore you, Steve. I really do.
Thank you very much.
I wish our mother was here, and Dad. Just because their love and their strong, harsh words had a real impact. Our mother was quite strict with us, and but she gave us a really good upbringing. Unfortunately for me, I was the one that always got the licks. She used to have this thing where, you know, you used to draw all over my exercise books, which was really, really annoying. Only for art, though. When it was art, I got an A+ without even trying. So thanks for that. I got an A+ for that. But we never had enough paper. So you used to always draw on the wall, on the table surface, in my exercise books. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. But I used to get licks for that. But all the same, it was tough for me too, because you know, I didn't understand autism, and I really wanted to have a strong connection with you. I really wanted to understand what you were going through, and you know, because there is a 2-year difference at that age, it was hard to understand what was going on. We were both bullied at school. I was bullied because, you know, people would ask me, "What's wrong with your brother? Why is he acting so strange?" and so on. And I never had an answer because I myself didn't know. But then there came a time where I became very protective of you because I got to understand you more as we were growing up. And I sat and I watched you. I sat and understood your personality and your character. We used to, you was afraid of thunder. Do you remember that?
Yeah, because I don't like the noise and the
Yeah.
lightning.
So we used to hide in the toilet, and we used to make a little tent, and we used to have biscuits, remember? Crackers, cheese, and biscuits. And we would sit in the toilet and wait until the thunder and the lightning would stop, and then we would come out. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's from a long time ago,
Yeah,
back
very
in
long
the 4
time
decades ago.
Yeah. Well, you're a big man now, so you're not afraid of thunder and lightning no more. Yeah. But yeah, so our journey still continues, and I hope that, you know, we will have many more. There's still so many other countries that we want to see. What other countries would you like to go and see, Steve?
Might go to the Montreal, because in Canada, because I never been to Montreal before.
Yeah. And any other places?
Milan,
Mm-hmm.
and
What is it about Milan? Why do you want to go to Milan?
because the first guys have never been there before, because of
Yeah.
the historic buildings.
Okay. So is it like in Montreal, is it because of the tall modern buildings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Montreal's skyline.
So it's just another one to tick
Yes.
off your bucket list?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And what about the famous people that you've met so far in your life? Do you want to name who those are? Well, you know, Michael
Yeah.
Crawford.
Michael Crawford. I met Mike Crawford a long time ago.
And who else have you met over the years?
Junior Giscombe, and I met the Beverly Knight.
Beverly Knight. And you met Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman from Rain Man, and Joe Marcel.
Yeah. I mean, you was on the front cover with Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, Rain Man from You magazine.
Yes.
Back in 1989.
I remember
I
the
was
title.
about 15 years old.
What was the title on the front of the magazine? It was
Rain Man meets Rain Boy.
That's right. That was pretty awesome. Yeah. Who else did you meet? Lenny
Henry.
Yes. There's been quite a few.
Yeah, a few celebrities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I met.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of other things that we've done.
I met Prince Charles at the Buckingham Palace.
Of course you did. And then you got the MBE award.
Yeah, MBE award.
You handled that really well.
Yeah.
I was really nervous for you. Because before you go and meet King Charles now, they have this protocol. You go at the back of Buckingham Palace with their red carpet and these vases that probably, I don't know, 100 years old. And, you know, I'm saying to Stephen, please don't touch anything. Don't break anything. Just keep your hands close to your side. And then they teach you how to bow, and the ladies have to curtsy. And I thought you was going to stuff it all up, but you was excellent. You went with the flow. You were just perfect. And you were so laid back about it. There was no fear, no anxiousness, no nothing. You just went with it. Yeah. And you spoke to him like you'd known him for years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you think of Prince Charles back then?
He's a nice man.
And what did he ask you?
He's asking me, he talks about my life and the drawings of all my work.
Yeah. And then you bowed down to him.
Yes.
And then you walked away with a big grin from ear to ear and then waving to me. That was a very proud moment for me too.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I think this journey for me has been about connecting with all of you. I mean, we're not the most social of people. You know, we do keep ourselves to ourselves most of the time, but it's just been nice to connect with some of you and hear your stories and see, you know, hear about your journeys too. So it's nice to share that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And get to know people and laugh and just be comfortable in our own space. And I hope we get to do more of that. It's good for us to learn together as well, to socialize more, because it's difficult sometimes, isn't it? Yeah. I think because I'm with Stephen a lot, I pick up a lot of his attributes. And, you know, we're quite private people. So we can be a little bit socially awkward sometimes, but that's okay. You know, there's no rules to it. We are who we are, and I think people are accepting of us. Yeah, guys, I'm just so in awe of you all, as well as with you, Stephen.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy to be here, and I thank everybody for listening, and you know, whatever we all do in our journey, I hope it's positive, and I wish you all well, in health and in good thoughts. And, you know, we keep each other in mind. And also, I would like to thank Fortnum and Mason for the afternoon teas that we've had. It's been good to connect with people. I would like to thank Tristan and Daniel as well for inviting us over. But most importantly, I want to thank all of you who have been here and seen Stephen's work and have a connection with you all. it's all been really positive and good. And I hope that we'll have another opportunity to do it again. Is there anything else you would like to say, Steve?
Just want to say thank you for coming in for the we came to the Antarctica because it's a beautiful place and it's a great adventure. So do the best you can and never
Never
stop.
stop. Yeah, that is something we abide by. That's a strong message. Is our hour up yet, or how long more do we have?
You've got 15 minutes.
Okay. So please, anybody have any questions, throw them at me. I'll try my best to answer.
Hi, Annette and Stephen and Michelle. It's such an honor to have met you and gotten to know you a little bit this week. So thank you for that. And
Thank
then
you.
yesterday
Thank you very
was so
much.
beautiful. And I don't know if everyone in this room was at the tea when these two lovely people gave away 3 beautiful gifts. And I wonder, Stephen, if you would tell us about that beautiful book, one of 25, that a young lady now is taking home.
Remember the coffee table book that we
yes.
did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got all your favorite.
Favorite work and then my drawings.
Yeah. And every single book you did was handwritten
Yes.
by you, painstakingly handwritten by you, which is why there's only 25.
Yeah.
And they're about your thoughts, aren't they?
Yes.
They're about your best moments. Let's talk about one particular image. Is the globe? Was it the globe of London?
The globe of London
Yeah,
and the globe of New York
yeah,
and the great brand news
The
about
Great
the
Brand New.
pandemic.
yeah. How did you feel about the pandemic?
It
'Cause
feels
that was the reason why you
yeah.
did the Great Brand New,
Yes.
right?
yeah.
So when you did that, what was the message you was trying to give out? Why
Yeah.
did you draw that?
Because of the landmarks and the people, because
So it was
it
like-
was around the world and the globe, because if it makes happy, because
Yeah.
if it
So it
So
was
it's-
like a unison.
unison, yeah.
And it was your way of saying, people, we're going through this terrible time right now,
yes,
but we are a nation and we'll get through it together.
yeah.
So that was why you did the Great Brand New.
The great brand new, yes.
And it was one of the most sold, we sold out, didn't we?
Yeah, so
Yeah, because it was very significant.
yeah.
Yeah. Any more?
Yeah, so I was really struck by you talking about how much you liked the noise and chaos of New York. My nephew is autistic, and obviously everyone's different, but he hates sound. And so I was wondering, when you're drawing, when you're trying to memorize things, does sound come into it at all for you? When you're drawing a, a building or looking at a panorama, how much does this sound mean to you in terms of memorizing, or do you put any of that into the drawing? Does it come into it at all?
Okay, so when you're drawing, what do you normally do? You put your earphones.
Because they listen to new music and
Yeah.
70s disco, 80s, and Motown and the pop.
And,
'Cause of,
and
my-
why do you do that? What does that do? Does it help you to be calm while you're sketching?
Yes, it helps me to calm to do sketching, and I was doing concentrate what I'm doing.
So the music helps you to concentrate
Yes,
and helps you to memorize things, and it
memorize
just
things and
takes you to another place where you just leave the background.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anybody else? Hello.
Mr. Daniel Fox has encouraged us through his book that I read before coming aboard, and he reminded us again yesterday to take everything in and record all you want, but the most important thing is delete, delete, delete. I have the opposite kind of memory as you. Mine is fading, and it really concerns me. However, I've understood that people that have the kinds of memory that you do might have have to take some efforts into deleting your memories. Do you have to put energy into forgetting as you memorize such plethora of information?
Okay, so when you see the thing with Stephen, when he memorizes something, that's it. He knows it. It's in his program forever. And you don't forget anything, do you? I mean, how does that work? So you memorize something, say, I don't know, a cathedral or a church or something, with all the detail. Is it like a video recorder? So you just, when you want to, you can just go back to it, press play, and then it comes back to you? Is that how it works?
I think it was memorized because if it's make sure I've memorized get math and into my brain to figure out for myself and to memorize.
So it's always there.
Yes.
But sometimes if you want it to come forward, you might just quickly scan it or have a look at it, and then it all comes flooding back. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think how it was, yes.
Yeah. So I think that it's there, like it's in storage, and then when he needs to take it out, he'll just go back to it and then, scan it, and all the detail and everything that he remembered maybe 10, 15 years ago, it comes flooding back, and then that's how he remembers everything. So it's like a storage somewhere else in the back of his brain. No.
Stephen, I'm just curious. I'm right here. Sorry. Do you also listen to the music when you're in the helicopter looking at the skyline? Are you also listening to your music at the same time that you're in your helicopter and looking at the skyline?
Yes.
Sometimes. I mean, sometimes, especially if the film crew are there, they may want to ask him questions while he's on flight. So, and plus it's really, really noisy. I don't know if anyone of you have had an experience going up in the helicopter. It's super noisy, and you can't even hear other people speak. So they mic you up and everything. So it's kind of difficult, unless they're filming him and they don't need him to say anything. Then you drown it out by listening to your earphones and your music. Yeah.
We have time for one more question. Over there, yeah.
I just want to thank y'all so much for sharing your lives. And aside from your talent of drawing, you're just both beautiful people. And that is what's really inspiring, is just being able to be around y'all.
Thank you very much.
And to feel, it seems like the drawing is just an extra thing aside from who y'all are as people. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you. That's
Thank you
very
very
humbling.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And, if I may ask a question as well, firstly, thanks, Annette and Stephen for being here. And I'm curious, for both of you, was there a favorite conversation or a favorite lecture you saw during the week?
I think for me it was Jose Hernandez. I could resonate a lot with what you were saying, especially when you're talking about your family and how they raised you. We were raised in the same way. Firm beliefs, being grounded, remember where you're coming from, and having those strong family values, which is, what we have and still have to this day. We have a huge family, especially on my mother's side. Unfortunately, on my father's side, we didn't get to know them as well as we would have liked. We kind of sort of dwindled out. But yeah, definitely Jose. We love you. And is there anything that anybody that really made a difference to you here? Is there somebody that you saw today or any day that we've been on the ship that you really remembered?
Penguins.
No, I mean people.
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Is there any? Well, penguins.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
penguins is always good. But was there any person that you met while on the ship that you felt?
William Shatner.
William Shatner. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's amazing.
And why was that?
Because I saw him from the Star Trek
Yeah.
and the T.J. Hooker in the 80s.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Well, thanks, Annette and Stephen. Please give another round of applause. For
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you.
I can take that. So yeah, I think we that was amazing, and thanks again for sharing your thoughts with us, Annette and Stephen. So I think the next big thing we have at 2:30 is I hate to call it the final rematch, but I think we have Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson and William Shatner and Scott Kelly. Are you in that one, Jose? No. You should. No, you should. You should butt in. But I think we might be broadcasting that one on Neil's Star Talk podcast. So come back for that. And I think there's a rumor there's trivia on now. So this is also the final ship's trivia. So then lunch and then Star Talk. Thank you.